Jack Miller was not an ordinary spaceship captain. He was known across 5-star systems for his cunning tactics and unwavering determination. The Human Alliance had trusted him with their most advanced vessel, the Starlight Voyager, for a reason. His current mission was simple: capture the notorious alien spy who had stolen critical military intelligence about Earth defenses. Intelligence suggested she was hiding on Nexus 7, a trading outpost at the edge of human space. Jack landed his shuttle at the bustling spaceport, scanning the crowd for his target. According to the briefing, she was a Zalarian, easily identifiable by their violet skin and silver hair. The humans had dealt with Zalarians before. They were physically stronger, but their minds were simple and easily manipulated. At least that was what everyone believed. He spotted her at a vendor stall haggling over some mechanical parts. Her name, according to intelligence, was Kira. She moved with unusual grace for a Zalarian. Jack noticed. She seemed more aware, more alert than expected. Approaching casually, he positioned himself beside her at the stall. "Those quantum stabilizers are overpriced," he commented, keeping his tone friendly. "I know a better supplier." Kira turned, her violet eyes studying him with unexpected intensity. "And why would you share such information with a stranger?" Her voice lacked the usual Zalarian accent. "Interesting." Jack smiled, offering his hand. Jack Miller, just trying to help a fellow traveler. She hesitated before accepting the handshake. "Lisa." She lied. Jack hid his satisfaction. She had taken the bait. Now he needed to gain her trust before capturing her and retrieving the stolen data. Over the next 3 days, Jack played his role perfectly. He showed Lisa around the outpost, introduced her to contacts who were actually undercover human agents, and slowly built a rapport. She was guarded but gradually opened up, claiming to be a freelance engineer looking for work. On the 4th night, he invited her to his ship for drinks. His plan was simple: activate the neural suppressant gas once she was inside and have her in custody within minutes. The Alliance would reward him handsomely for this capture. Lisa arrived wearing a simple jumpsuit that did little to hide her athletic physique. As she entered the ship, Jack noticed how carefully she examined everything. "Impressive vessel," she commented, running her hand along a control panel. "Military-grade systems, disguised as commercial equipment. Very clever." Jack tensed slightly. Had he underestimated her? "Just modifications I picked up over the years. Nothing special." She smiled, taking the drink he offered. "We both know that's not true." Captain Miller, before Jack could react, Lisa moved with impossible speed, pinning him against the wall, her strength far exceeding what any Zalarian should possess. "Did you really think I wouldn't recognize the famous Jack Miller?" she whispered, her violet eyes gleaming with amusement. "The Human Alliance sent their best to catch me. I'm flattered." Jack struggled against her grip. "What are you?" Lisa laughed, releasing him slightly. "Not what your intelligence reports suggest, obviously." She touched a device on her wrist and her appearance flickered. Her violet skin faded, revealing pale human features. Her silver hair transformed into auburn waves. Jack stared in shock. "You're human." "Special Agent Kate Wilson, deep cover operative for Earth Intelligence," she said, deactivating the holographic disguise. "Completely. And you nearly compromised a 3-year mission." Jack's mind raced, processing this revelation. "But the stolen defense plans." Kate shook her head. "Misinformation. We fed it to the Zalarian High Command. The real mission is much bigger. We've discovered something that changes everything about this war." She activated a hidden console on his ship, displaying star charts Jack had never seen. "The Zalarians aren't the real enemy. They're being controlled by something else, something ancient, that's been manipulating both our species." Jack studied the data, his expertise in stellar cartography immediately recognizing the implications. "These energy signatures, they're artificial." "Precisely." Kate nodded. "We believe it's a precursor race. Technology possibly millions of years old. It's been subtly influencing Zalarian brain patterns, pushing them toward conflict with humans." Jack looked at her with newfound respect. "And you've been undercover gathering this intelligence?" "Yes, but I can't complete the mission alone." Kate's expression was serious. "I need someone with your skills, someone who can navigate uncharted space. Someone like you, Jack." He considered her words, the implications of this discovery, the possibility that humans and Zalarians had been puppets in someone else's game. The mission would be dangerous, possibly suicidal, but if successful, it could end the war, save countless lives. "I was sent to capture you," Jack said slowly. "But it seems the universe had other plans." Kate smiled, extending her hand. "Partners, then, for humanity." Jack took her hand, feeling the strength in her grip. Here was a human woman who had survived years alone in enemy territory, gathering intelligence that could save their species. He had planned to dominate and capture this alien woman, only to discover she was not only human, but possibly the most important person in the galaxy. For humanity, he agreed. As their ship broke orbit, heading toward the uncharted regions where the ancient signal originated, Jack realized that his life would never be the same again. The Starlight Voyager hummed as it traveled through hyperspace. Kate had taken over the navigation console, while Jack examined the data she had collected during her years undercover. "The signal originates from this region." Kate pointed to a cluster of stars near the edge of known space. "It's called the Nebula of Whispers by the Zalarians. They consider it forbidden territory." Jack zoomed in on the star map. No wonder it's practically a maze of stellar debris and radiation storms. Navigation would be nearly impossible without advanced systems. Which is exactly why it's the perfect hiding place. Kate pulled up additional scans. "My theory is that whatever is controlling the Zalarians has been there for thousands of years. Maybe longer." Jack studied her face, noticing the determination in her eyes. "How did you discover all this? You said you were undercover for 3 years. Kate's expression darkened. "I was part of a special task force. We suspected something was influencing the Zalarian leadership. Their aggression toward humans seemed too sudden, too coordinated." She paused. "There were 5 of us initially. Only I survived." "I'm sorry," Jack said softly. She shook her head. "My team gave their lives for this information. We cannot let their sacrifice be in vain." The ship's alarm suddenly blared, warning lights flashing across the console. "We've got company," Jack announced, checking the sensors. "Zalarian patrol ship. They must have followed us from Nexus 7. Kate moved to the weapons station. "We can't let them report our position." Agreed. Jack engaged the cloaking system, a feature that wasn't supposed to exist on civilian vessels. "But let's try to avoid a firefight." The Zalarian ship approached rapidly, its sensors scanning the area where the Starlight Voyager had disappeared. Jack held his breath, watching the enemy vessel on the view screen. It was larger, heavily armed. "They're using some kind of advanced detection system," Kate warned. "Our cloak won't fool them for long." Jack made a quick decision. "Prepare for emergency jump." He input coordinates. "We'll use the nearby asteroid field to mask our signature." The ship lurched as Jack executed a series of complex maneuvers. The Zalarian patrol followed. Closing the distance, they're locking weapons, Kate reported. Jack smiled. "Perfect." He suddenly reversed thrusters, bringing the Starlight Voyager directly beneath the enemy ship in their weapons blind spot. Fire electromagnetic pulse. The pulse hit the Zalarian ship, disabling its systems temporarily. Without waiting, Jack accelerated toward the asteroid field, weaving between massive rocks with precision that few pilots could match. "That won't hold them for long," Kate said, "but it should give us enough time to disappear." Hours later, with the immediate danger behind them, Jack and Kate sat in the ship's small dining area, sharing a meal of synthesized protein and actual fresh fruit, a luxury in deep space. "You're quite the pilot," Kate remarked. "The stories about you didn't exaggerate," Jack shrugged. "Years of practice. Most of it running from people who wanted to kill me." "And why did they want to kill you?" Kate asked with genuine curiosity. Jack hesitated before answering. "I wasn't always working for the Alliance. I was a smuggler before the war. Started when I was barely 20, shipping contraband between the outer colonies." He took a sip of water. "When the Zalarians attacked Earth, I lost my family. My parents, my sister, they were in London when it was hit." Kate's expression softened. "So you joined the Alliance for revenge?" "Initially, yes," Jack admitted. But over time I realized I was good at this, getting in and out of dangerous places. Gathering intelligence, I could help. Prevent more deaths, Kate nodded, understanding in her eyes. We all have our reasons for fighting. And yours? Jack asked. Why did you volunteer for a 3-year deep cover mission? That's practically a death sentence. Kate was quiet for a moment. My husband was a scientist studying Zellarian biology. He was the first to suggest they might be under external influence. She looked down at her plate. He was killed when Zellarians attacked his research station. I joined Earth Intelligence the next day. Jack reached across the table, hesitantly placing his hand over hers. Then we both have personal stakes in this mission. She met his gaze. Yes, we do. The ship's computer interrupted with an alert. Approaching destination nebula of Whispers perimeter. In 20 minutes. They returned to the bridge, watching as the swirling colors of the nebula grew larger on the view screen. Brilliant blues and purples mixed with crimson clouds of gas, forming patterns that seemed almost hypnotic. It's beautiful, Jack murmured, and deadly. Kate added, the radiation levels are off the charts. Our shields will only hold for 12 hours at most. Jack checked the ship's systems. Then we have 12 hours to find what we're looking for. He glanced at Kate. Ready? She nodded, determination in her eyes. Let's finish what my team started. The Starlight Voyager slipped into the nebula, its shields glowing as they repelled the harmful radiation. Jack navigated carefully, following the coordinates from Kate's data. Meanwhile, Kate monitored the strange energy signature growing stronger as they progressed deeper into the cosmic maze. 3 hours into the nebula, Jack and Kate encountered their first real obstacle, a massive wall of swirling energy unlike anything recorded in human space. The readings are incredible, Kate said, studying the sensor data. It's some kind of energy barrier, definitely artificial. Jack tried scanning beyond the barrier, but the sensors couldn't penetrate it. Any ideas how to get through? Kate accessed her personal database. According to my research, the Zellarian high priests sometimes mentioned a gateway. In their oldest text they called it the Veil of Ancients. She looked up at Jack. They believed only the worthy could pass through. I'm not much for religious tests, Jack replied with a frown. Let's try a more direct approach. He adjusted, the ship's shields modulating them to match the frequency of the barrier, then slowly eased the Starlight Voyager forward. The vessel shuddered violently as it made contact with the energy wall. Warning alarms blared throughout the bridge. Shield integrity at 60%. Kate reported, 50%, 40. Jack gritted his teeth, pushing the ship harder. Just a little more. With a final lurch, the Starlight Voyager broke through the barrier, emerging into a strangely calm region of space. The nebula still surrounded them, but here it was different. More ordered, with streams of energy flowing in geometric patterns. Shield integrity at 25%, Kate announced. But they're stabilizing. She looked at Jack with newfound respect. How did you know that would work? I didn't, Jack admitted with a slight smile. But energy barriers usually have harmonic frequencies. If you match them correctly, you can pass through with minimal resistance. Basic smuggler knowledge. Kate shook her head. You continue to surprise me, Captain Miller. The calm didn't last long. As they ventured deeper into this protected region of the nebula, the ship's sensors detected movement. We're not alone, Kate warned. Jack enhanced the viewscreen image, revealing sleek metallic objects moving through the colorful gases with unnatural precision. Drones. They don't match any known Zellarian design, Kate observed. Much more advanced. One of the drones approached their ship, hovering just outside the viewscreen. It was roughly spherical, with a pulsing blue light at its center. Smaller lights blinked along its surface in complex patterns. I think it's scanning us, Jack said, keeping his hands steady on the controls, ready to take evasive action. The drone suddenly projected a beam of light into the ship, bathing the bridge in blue illumination. Before either of them could react, the light intensified, and Jack felt a strange pressure in his mind, as if something was sifting through his thoughts. Jack. Kate's voice sounded distant. Something's happening. The pressure increased, bringing with it flashes of images. Planets he'd never seen, species unknown to humanity, cities that spanned entire continents. Then, just as suddenly as it began, the sensation vanished. The drone retreated, joining the others. "What was that?" Jack gasped, feeling slightly disoriented. Kate looked equally shaken. "I think it was communicating or trying to." The drones formed a pattern in front of their ship, then began moving, in unison, deeper into the nebula. "I believe we're being invited to follow," Kate said. Jack hesitated. "Could be a trap. Or the only way to find what we're looking for," Kate countered. "We've come too far to turn back now." With a nod, Jack set course. After the drones, they traveled for another 2 hours, going deeper than any human had ever ventured into the mysterious region. The nebula gradually changed color, shifting from purples and blues to golden hues. Finally, the drones led them to what appeared to be a massive structure floating in space. It was unlike anything human or Zalarian architects could have created. A sprawling complex of interconnected spheres and towers, constructed from a material that seemed to absorb and emit light. Simultaneously, it's enormous. Kate breathed, checking the sensors. At least the size of Earth's moon. The drones guided them toward what appeared to be a docking area. A section of the structure opened, revealing a cavernous bay large enough to accommodate their ship. "Decision time," Jack said, hovering outside the opening. "Do we go in?" Kate met his gaze, her expression resolute. "This is what we came for. What my team died for." Jack nodded, guiding the Starlight Voyager into the alien structure. The docking bay closed behind them with barely a sound. As external sensors confirmed a breathable atmosphere, Kate prepared their equipment. "We should be able to survive outside the ship," she said, checking her handheld scanner. "Gravity slightly higher than Earth, standard atmosphere rich in oxygen." They armed themselves with standard Alliance pulse weapons, though Jack doubted they would be effective against beings capable of building such a place. "Stay close," Jack advised as they approached the airlock, "and be ready for anything." The moment they stepped outside their ship, the environment responded. Soft lighting activated along pathways, revealing a corridor that stretched ahead. Surfaces that had appeared solid from a distance now seemed to shimmer, with embedded information patterns too complex to comprehend. "It's responding to our presence," Kate said, her scientific curiosity overcoming her caution. "This technology is beyond anything I've ever seen." They followed the illuminated path deeper into the structure. The corridor eventually opened into a vast circular chamber with a domed ceiling that displayed what appeared to be a real-time map of the galaxy, complete with pulsing lights representing what Jack suspected were civilizations. In the center of the chamber stood a single pedestal with a hovering sphere of energy above it. As they approached, the sphere expanded, revealing swirling patterns of light. "Welcome, humans," a voice echoed in their minds, neither male nor female, but somehow both. "We have waited long for ones who could perceive the truth." Jack instinctively stepped in front of Kate, his hand moving to his weapon. "Who are you?" he demanded. "And how are you speaking in our minds?" The sphere pulsed with each word. "We are the Guardians. We have existed for millions of your years. We watch, we observe, we protect." Kate moved beside Jack, her scientific curiosity overwhelming her caution. "Are you responsible for influencing the Zalarians, making them attack humanity?" "No," the voice responded. "That is the work of the corruption. An ancient enemy." Images appeared in the air around them, showing scenes from across the galaxy. Species Jack had never seen engaged in conflicts on dozens of worlds. The corruption feeds on conflict. The Guardian explained. It has existed as long as sentient life. Subtle, influencing the development of species, pushing them toward aggression. Jack frowned. "Why not stop it directly if you're so powerful? Our purpose is to maintain balance. We cannot interfere directly, but we can guide those with potential to resist." The sphere changed color, becoming a deep blue. "Your species and the Zalarians were not meant to be enemies. You share common ancestry." This revelation stunned both humans. Kate recovered first. "Common ancestry. How is that possible?" More. Images appeared showing ancient humanoid beings spreading across the stars. Your true ancestors seeded many worlds. The Zellarians evolved on a high-gravity world with different radiation patterns giving them their unique physiology. But at your core, you are the same species. Jack struggled to process this information. If that's true, then why has there never been evidence of this connection? The corruption has hidden this truth. The Guardian responded, "It has manipulated both species, for generations altering historical records, influencing leaders, pushing you toward mutual destruction." Kate's expression hardened. My husband was right. She looked at the Guardian. But why bring us here now? Why not centuries ago? The corruption grows stronger. Each conflict feeds its power. The war between humans and Zellarians would provide enough energy for it to spread beyond this galaxy, threatening all life. The Guardian's light dimmed slightly. We searched for those who could see. Beyond the deception, your mate was one such human. He began to perceive the truth. Kate's voice shook with emotion, and he was killed for it. Yes, the corruption eliminates those who threaten its influence. The sphere expanded, but you continued his work and found others who could help. Jack looked at Kate with new understanding, then back to the Guardian. So what exactly do you want from us? We offer knowledge. The truth about your shared history, and a way to break the corruption's hold on both species. The Guardian projected a small device that materialized on the pedestal. This contains proof of your common ancestry, genetic markers, historical records that were destroyed, evidence of manipulation by the corruption. Kate reached for the device, but Jack caught her wrist. Wait, how do we know we can trust you? How do we know this isn't just another manipulation? The Guardian's light pulsed. You do not, but consider the corruption thrives on conflict. We offer a path to peace, which serves its purpose. Kate gently pulled free of Jack's grip. My husband gave his life searching for this truth. I have to believe this is what he would want. She took the device, studying it with professional interest. This technology, it's beyond anything we have. It will interface with your systems, the Guardian explained. The evidence cannot be altered or corrupted. Once revealed to both species, the corruption's influence will weaken. Jack remained skeptical. Even with proof centuries of hatred won't disappear overnight. The Zellarians have destroyed human colonies, killed millions. Our people won't simply forgive that. True peace requires time, the Guardian acknowledged. But without truth, peace is impossible. Kate placed the device securely in her pack. So we take this back, reveal it to both governments, and then what? The rest will be your choice. Your path to determine. We cannot interfere further. Jack shook his head. That's convenient. The chamber suddenly trembled, a distant boom, echoing through the structure. The Guardian's light flickered. You must leave now. The corruption has found this place. Its servants approach. Security monitors appeared showing Zellarian warships emerging from hyperspace near the nebula, dozens of them, far more than should have been in the sector. How did they find us? Kate asked, alarmed. The corruption has many ways to track those who threaten it. The Guardian's voice became urgent. You must return to your worlds. Reveal the truth before it is too late. Jack grabbed Kate's arm. Time to go. As they ran back toward their ship, the structure shook more violently. Sections of corridor began to seal themselves. The Guardians are protecting us, Kate realized as a door closed behind them. Just as energy blasts impacted it from the other side, they reached the docking bay, finding the Starlight Voyager still secure. Jack quickly prepared for launch while Kate monitored the approaching Zellarian fleet, 8 warships entering the nebula. She reported, They'll reach the energy barrier in minutes. Can they get through it? Jack asked, activating the engines. If they concentrate their firepower, probably. Kate strapped herself in, but it might buy us some time. The docking bay doors opened, revealing the golden nebula now darkened by weapons fire. Jack piloted the ship out, engaging the engines at full power. I've got an idea, he said, plotting a course. We can use the nebula's radiation to mask our signature. Head for the densest region. Kate checked her scanner. That's suicide. The radiation will overwhelm our shields in minutes. Not if we modulate them to the exact frequency. Jack grinned. I picked up a few readings from the Guardian systems. Think you can apply that knowledge? Kate quickly understood working the science station with practiced efficiency, reconfiguring shields now. The Starlight Voyager plunged into the thickest part of the nebula, vanishing from conventional sensors. Behind them, the Zalarian fleet began bombarding the Guardian structure. They're not following us, Kate reported with relief. The radiation would destroy their ships without the shield modifications. Jack set course for the edge of the nebula. We're not safe yet. We still need to get this information back to Earth. Kate clutched the pack containing the Guardian's device and somehow convinced both sides to listen. Jack reached over briefly, squeezing her hand, one impossible task at a time. As they emerged from the nebula hours later, Kate gasped. Jack, look! On the view screen, the stars were shifting, rearranging themselves into a pattern, a message only they could see: protection granted, safe journey, guardians of truth. The stars returned to normal, leaving Jack and Kate staring in wonder. I think we just got promoted, Jack said with a slight smile. Kate nodded, still processing everything they had learned. From enemies to allies to guardians, all in one day, Jack set course for Earth. Let's just hope we can live up to the title. The journey back to Earth was tense. Every moment Jack expected Zalarian warships to appear. They traveled through rarely used routes, avoiding major trade lanes and military checkpoints. We're about 6 hours from Earth space, Jack announced, checking their position. We should contact Alliance headquarters, prepare them for what we're bringing. Kate looked up from the device she'd been studying. Not yet. We don't know how deep the corruption's influence goes. Remember what happened to my team, to my husband, Jack frowned. You think there are compromised officials in the Alliance? I think we can't take any chances. Kate connected the Guardian's device to the ship's computer. I've been analyzing this. The evidence is overwhelming: genetic comparisons, historical records, communications that were altered. She shook her head in amazement. Humans and Zalarians share 90% of their base genetic code. The differences are environmental adaptations, nothing more. Jack joined her, examining the data. This will change everything. If people believe it, Kate pointed out. The corruption has had centuries to embed its influence. Jack thought for a moment. We need allies, people we can trust completely. I have a few contacts in Earth intelligence who might help, Kate said. People who worked with my husband, people who questioned the sudden aggression of the Zalarians. I know someone too, Jack added. Admiral Laura Carter. She recruited me to the Alliance, saved me from a prison sentence. She never fully supported the war, said it felt wrong somehow. Kate nodded. That's our starting point. A small trusted group. A proximity alarm suddenly blared. Jack rushed to the sensor station. We've got company. A massive Zalarian dreadnought had appeared directly in their path, its weapons already powering up. How did they find us? Kate demanded. They didn't, Jack realized, checking the ship's position. This is a patrol. We just had the bad luck to cross paths. The communication system activated. A stern Zalarian face appeared on screen. Human vessel. You have entered restricted space. Prepare to be boarded. Jack cut the transmission. Options. Kate checked the tactical display. We can't outrun a dreadnought, and our weapons would barely scratch it. Jack smiled, that dangerous smile that had made him famous. Who said anything about running or fighting? He input commands, bringing up a hidden menu on the navigation console. The Alliance equipped this ship with experimental technology, one last resort. What kind of technology? Kate asked warily, phase shifting. Jack explained, working quickly. It can briefly shift the ship partially out of normal space, making us almost incorporeal. Kate stared at him. That's theoretical. Technology. Not anymore. Jack activated the system. But there's a catch. It only lasts 30 seconds, and it drains all power. We'll be dead in space for 3 minutes after it ends. The Zalarian dreadnought launched fighters that moved to surround. the Starlight Voyager. 30 seconds might be enough, Kate said. If we time it right, Jack nodded. My thoughts exactly. We phase shift past through the dreadnought and drift while systems reboot. Through the dreadnought, Kate repeated. You're insane, probably. Jack admitted. But do you have a better idea? Kate strapped herself in. Just don't get us killed before we can save both our species. Jack targeted the center of the massive Zalarian vessel and accelerated, phase shift activating in 3, 2, 1. The world around them changed. Reality seemed to blur. The solid hull of the Starlight Voyager became translucent, as did the approaching dreadnought. Jack maintained course, flying directly toward what should have been solid metal. Kate held her breath. As they passed through the Zalarian ship, like moving through fog, they could see crew members frozen in place, weapons ready, engineering systems, power cores, all passing by as they glided through. Then they were clear. The phase shift ended with a shuddering jolt. All systems shut down, emergency lighting barely illuminating the bridge. Power restoration in 180 seconds, the computer announced. Through the viewports, they could see the Zalarian dreadnought turning slowly, searching. For them, they can't see us, Kate whispered. Not without power signatures. Let's hope they don't look out a window. Jack replied. The minutes stretched endlessly. Finally, the computer announced, power restoration complete. Jack immediately engaged. The stealth systems keeping all emissions minimal. Let's get out of here. The Starlight Voyager slipped away while the Zalarian ships continued their search. Eventually, they reached Earth space. Kate used her security clearance to bypass standard protocols, allowing them to approach Earth undetected. They landed at a small private facility owned by Admiral Carter outside of New Washington. Once on the ground, Kate secured the Guardian's device while Jack contacted the Admiral using an encrypted channel. Hours later, a small group gathered in the facility's secure conference room. Admiral Laura Carter, Jack's longtime mentor and ally, Dr. Olivia Reed, Kate's former supervisor at Earth Intelligence, Major Alan Foster, a tactical expert who had questioned the war strategy, and Senator Patricia Lee, one of the few politicians who had advocated for peace talks. Jack and Kate presented their evidence: the genetic data, the historical records, the proof of manipulation. As expected, the reactions were mixed. This is impossible, Major Foster said, examining the genetic comparisons. Our entire understanding of galactic history would be wrong. Yet the evidence is compelling. Dr. Reed countered. These genetic markers couldn't be faked. Admiral Carter studied the star charts. The pattern of Zalarian attacks always seemed too perfect, too designed to provoke maximum human response. She looked up at Jack and Kate. I believe you. Senator Lee nodded slowly. As do I, but convincing others. We don't need to convince everyone, Kate said. Just enough key people in both governments. And how exactly do we contact the Zalarian leadership? Foster asked. We're at war, in case you forgot. Jack smiled. I might have an idea about that. 2 weeks. Later, the Starlight Voyager hovered at the edge of neutral space. A lone Zalarian vessel approached cautiously. They're hailing us, Kate reported. Jack nodded. On screen, the face that appeared belonged to High Commander Varen of the Zalarian Defense Force, one of the few Zalarian leaders who had occasionally shown restraint in the conflict. Captain Miller. Varen acknowledged. You claim to have information vital to both our peoples. This better not be a trap. No trap, Commander, Jack assured him. Just the truth. Something that's been hidden from all of us. Kate transmitted a small portion of the Guardian's data. This is merely a sample. We have much more. Varen's expression changed as he reviewed the information. His violet eyes widened. This cannot be. But it is, Kate said firmly. We've verified it with our best scientists. The Zalarian and human genomes share too many markers to be coincidence. We were meant to be allies, not enemies. Someone or something has been manipulating both our species, Jack added, pushing us toward mutual destruction. Varen was silent for a long moment. There have been those among us who questioned the war. Those who felt it was wrong somehow. They were usually silenced. The same happened on our side, Kate said. My husband was killed for his research into this very topic. If what you say is true, Varen said carefully, then everything changes. That's the idea, Jack replied. In the months that followed, the evidence was carefully shared. With trusted individuals on both sides, a secret summit was arranged on a neutral moon. Representatives from Earth and Zelaria met face-to-face, many for the first time, without weapons. Kate presented the full data from the Guardians. Jack explained their encounter. The revelation of the corruption and its influence shocked both delegations. There were those who resisted, of course, military leaders, politicians, those most deeply influenced by the corruption. But as the evidence spread, the call for peace grew stronger. 1 year after their journey into the nebula of whispers, Jack and Kate stood on the observation deck of the newly commissioned Peace Station Unity, a joint human-Zellarian project orbiting a star exactly halfway between their home worlds. Do you think we've won? Kate asked, watching ships from both species dock peacefully. Jack took her hand, which now bore a simple ring matching his own. I think we've made a start. The Guardians said peace would take time. The corruption is still out there, Kate reminded him. Still influencing other species, still spreading conflict. Jack nodded, which is why our work isn't done. They turned as Admiral Carter, now head of the Joint Fleet, approached. The new exploration vessel is ready, you two? Sure you want to command it? The diplomatic corps would love to have you both, Kate smiled. Diplomacy isn't really our strength. Exploring uncharted space, hunting for signs of the corruption, protecting other species from manipulation. Jack grinned. That sounds more our style. Admiral Carter handed them a datapad. The Guardian's legacy is yours then, along with a crew of the best from both our peoples. As they prepared to depart on their new mission, Jack looked at Kate, the woman he had once planned to capture and interrogate, now his partner in all things. Ready for another adventure? He asked. Kate smiled, her violet contact lenses giving her the appearance of a Zellarian, an homage to her years undercover, always the Guardians. Legacy departed Unity Station. Its crew a mixture of humans and Zellarians, former enemies now united. The ship bore a new insignia. 2 hands of different colors clasped in unity with stars behind them. Somewhere in the vastness of space, the corruption sensed the change, the new alliance, the threat to its power, and it began to prepare. But for the first time in centuries, it felt something unfamiliar. Fear.